Hello viewers, Mike here, and this is the wrap up on the Doall Bandsaw refurb project. And there's 30 plus videos on this, plus a couple, 2 or 3 updates along the way. This will be the last one, I promise, and I'll just give you a little bit of an overview on what we've done here. The wiring was terrible on this thing, and one of the important things that we did here was we added this safety shut-off box here on the side of it, where it's easy to get at. Of course, we took all the old paint off, or as much old paint as we could, and repainted it. Has new belts on the inside for driving it, as well as we rebuilt, put new bearings in the electric motor back there, and did a lot of rewiring, as I said. Cleaning was a lot of it. I'll show you a little bit of the inside. Has new tires on the band wheels, courtesy of my friend Steve Avis. Thank you, Steve. Everything's working real well. I'll start it up in a second here and show you. We rebuilt the transmission. When we disassembled the transmission, we found 2 bad gears, so we cut 2 new gears for it. That was one of the adventures along the way. This project has taken place over, I think it was a year and 4 months. And we had some setbacks that caused us to take a little bit longer. Making the new gears was one. And then as we were trying to get this on my moving dolly, we accidentally tipped this thing over. And if you recall, we smashed in the door and put this big dent in here and broke a cast iron bracket inside that holds the grinder motor. I forget, there was a couple other things too. So that set us back. It was kind of a big disappointment that those things happened. The door, we got the door, we pulled it right back flat. You'd never know what was doing. We left this big boo-boo in right here just as a reminder to be more careful in the future. Probably one of the most frustrating things on this project was working on this blade welder. And for those of you that followed along in the series, there was parts missing out of the inside of this thing. Somebody had been in there and jake-legged the wiring on it, and I found it to be a little bit like trying to work a jigsaw puzzle when you didn't know what the final picture looked like and you didn't have all the pieces. But with the help of some viewers, I was able to muddle through this thing. But it took me a couple of months to figure out how this thing, what it needed to get it running again. But it is running and functional. It welds good. It anneals. The annealing circuit works good. I did add these 3 switches here. The first one is the master switch for the welder, and with it off it kills the welder completely. And the second switch is the work light, and the third switch is the grinder off and on. So that's a little bit of an overview. We did have to make various parts along the way. We broke this foot pedal bracket for the inside for the gravity feed, and I made a new foot pedal setup for it down here. That works well. Not that I've used it, but we've got a new blade on it. I put a 1/2-inch Lennox blade, bimetal blade on it. I'm real happy with that. We made the cradle for rolling this thing around. It rolls pretty easy. So we don't really have a way to move it here in the shop other than make dollies for everything and just push them around where we want. So that's pretty much an overview. If anybody out there is working on a bandsaw restoration, let me know, maybe I might be able to help you out. This particular one is a very, very early model. It probably is one of the very first that Doall made. I've never found any parts lists or schematics or anything that cover this particular welder. The earliest information I could find that was supplied to me by Doall, this particular saw preceded their oldest plans by about 500 welders. So while I wouldn't ever say that I'm an expert on this saw, I pretty well know it inside and out. So if anybody needs any help or any information I could supply, let me know. And we did, let me turn the power on. We did rebuild the air pump on this thing. This is as I say, it's a very early model of Doall saw. This actually has a piston pump that supplies the air blower, to blow the chips off the workpiece. It's the only Doall saw that I've ever run into that has that. And I did add the LED work light on this. That's working out real well. Puts the light right down there where you need to see it. I put a little switch up here. So now we have the power on. Let me turn it on and you can hear it run. Those two bad gears in here, the gears that I made were straight cut because I'm not set up to cut helical gears. So I cut two spur gears and they're working well. They should hold up for the life of the saw plus. But they do produce a little bit more noise than the helical gear, but I'm happy with that. So that's it for the Doall bandsaw. I won't be doing any further videos on this series, and for those of you that have followed along, I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did working on it, and I'm very happy to have you in the shop here with me. So with that said, I'm going to wrap this one up, and we'll see you on the next project. Thanks a lot.